What's going on, everybody? This is TJ from Focus Trades, and this is the Becoming a Full-Time Trader webinar. In this short webinar, guys, I'm just going to briefly discuss the good and the bad of being a full-time trader, my experience, my background, and what it takes to reach a point where you can just trade for a living. So, won't be a long webinar, won't waste much of your time, and we're going to jump right into it. So, a little bit about me, guys. I'm 25 years old and I started studying the markets about 10 years ago when I started learning from my father, who has made a living from the markets. He's a registered investment advisor, he's a market professional, and that was one of my biggest blessings, was having a mentor firsthand at a very young age. I dropped out of public school in 9th grade freshman year, and I went home and I earned my high school degree online from my bedroom. I did not do well in the public school setting, got in a lot of trouble, just doing a lot of stupid shit, and it was not working out for me. So dropped out, came home, and I earned my high school degree online. So I am self-educated, and I never attended a day of college in my life and started trading full-time in 2015. Now, I didn't jump right into full-time trading, guys. I worked at McDonald's, I worked at nutrition stores, I worked at the gym. I've done a lot of the same things all of you have, but with hard work and the proper focus, you can go from doing something like that to trading full-time, and it doesn't take forever. And I think what you guys are going to find is that it does not take massive amounts of money. And a few fun facts about me, guys. I'm a die-hard basketball fan. The game of basketball was my true first love in life. I am a die-hard Celtics fan. If you don't like the Celtics, you can get lost. And exotic cars are truly my biggest passion in life. So why trading? A lot of different things you could get into, and in today's world, there's a lot of different ways to make money working for ourselves online. So, why trading? Well, for me, of course, my father does it, and like any kid, you're kind of attracted to what your parents do initially. But aside from that, guys, why trading? Well, we'll run through a few things here. Obviously, there's the potential, for unlimited income. As a trader, that's just the truth. There's unlimited potential financially. And, as a full-time trader or any kind of self-employed individual, your time is your time. No boss, no set structure, no appointments, meetings, any of that kind of crap you got to deal with. You get to pick when you take time off, when you got to show up, all under your control. The other nice thing about trading, again, is that it's all on you. You don't have to deal with coworkers, bosses, people giving their opinions. It can be a good and a bad, but it's truly all on you. One of my favorite things is, guys, the market is 100% unbiased. It does not matter if you are white, black, blue, short, tall, male, female, educated, uneducated. None of those things matter to the market. Those who put in the work, learn the game, and develop a process ultimately succeed in trading if they dedicate themselves to it. There are Ivy League individuals who have failed miserably in trading, and then there are individuals like me who couldn't hold it together for 6 months in public school, who have made it pretty far. So trading is 100% unbiased, guys. The market is unbiased, and truthfully, it's something that we can improve in every single day until we die. And that's a true craft. Take an individual who plays an instrument or any kind of craftsman. Part of the beauty is that it's a never-ending pursuit of excellence in that given field, and that's not easy. And then a lot of jobs and careers, guys, you don't have that element, and what you're going to find is that's what you ultimately want to fall in love with: the process, the grind, and just that daily pursuit. So the upsides, as we mentioned, I think this is kind of everyone's initial reasoning for getting into trading, and everyone's goal is financial independence. Now, I don't think trading is all about money. It's much bigger to me, but I'm not going to lie to you. If you get good at trading, guys, you're going to make a lot of money. For me personally, nothing else in life would pay me more than trading does, given my background. Another upside is that you get to do what you love every day. Not many people can say that. And now, maybe you don't love the markets like I do. Maybe you do, but, as a trader, guys, if you're in love with the market and in trading, you should really go after this. Because putting aside the money and all that good stuff, getting to do what you love every day is really unmatched in my opinion. And you get to call the shots in your life. Me personally, guys, there's just something within me that, It's not that I think I'm special or anything like that at all. I have no ego, but I don't do well under structure. I don't like following direction. I don't like taking orders. And something as simple as getting a schedule for a 9-to-5 job, when I'm supposed to show up, just does not resonate with me. I'm the kind of individual, as you can tell, I didn't last in school. I need to be able to call the shots. I like to have my own structure and be in control. And trading full time, without having to deal with all that kind of crap, guys, it allows me to be to call the shots in my life. If I want to go to the gym at noon, guess what? I go to the gym at noon. If I want to sit here all day and watch every single move in the market, I get to do that. And really, when you trade successfully, yes, it brings money, but for me, more so, it brings freedom. And it's freedom to enjoy your passions. That's what it's all about. Everyone has different interests. Some people like to travel and take vacations. Some people like sporting events or concerts or to collect things. Some people like me are car nuts. Money, guys, finances, they're simply a means to allow us to enjoy our passions in life. So that kind of comes hand in hand with successful trading, is the freedom to then go out and enjoy those passions. And again, the last upside, as I mentioned before, is that endless room for improvement. You look at any great individual, Kobe Bryant, Tiger Woods, Tom Brady, well after they became famous and multimillionaires, and way after people have been calling them, the GOAT for years, they're still up, they're still the first ones in the gym, first ones to show up, last ones to leave. Tiger Woods is still hitting thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of balls every single day, because there's always room for improvement, and it's just you fall in love with that quest for perfection. It's something you can truly throw your heart into for the rest of your life and just continue to chase it. And for me, that's a true addiction. It's going to allow me to truly become the best I can be without a teacher, coach, boss, asshole employee, business politics, any of the outside factors that play into the normal work setting. They're not going to play here in trading, guys. It's me against the market, plain and simple. And again, getting to enjoy your passions, I'm a young guy. I love cars. Trading allows me to go out there and experience some of my favorite cars. I have the freedom, guys, when I can get a nice 5-10 minute trade. Sometimes the profit from that trade is enough to go out and drive something like a sick ass Corvette, or travel and go visit, a Lambo dealership and drive some Lambos, Now, you may not be interested in cars. Maybe you want to try a different steakhouse every week, or you like wine, or whatever your passion may be, guys. Trading allows you to enjoy that. So for me, it happens to be cars. That's just my thing, and I'm not going to shy away from being the guy who spends $500,000 on a vehicle one day. That's the goal, and trading's going to allow me to do that. One thing I love is that I get to work from home. I'm a huge homebody, not a very social guy. I like to be in my environment, doing my thing. So I get to trade right here from my new pad in my new home office, guys. And again, nice and simple. I got one desk, one chair, one monitor, and that's all I need to make a living from the markets. Some mornings I get to wear pajamas. Some mornings I wear jeans. Again, I'm the kind of individual, I don't like structure. I don't like being told what to do. As silly as that may sound, I love the fact that I can put on some sweatpants and a hoodie, walk 10 feet down the hallway into my office, and that's my commute, and I'm there by myself. I personally love that. Now, a little bit more, guys, on downsides of being a full-time trader is that, welcome to self-employment. I grew up in a family where, pretty much everyone is self-employed. Grandfather, father, mother, all self-employed. So I've been accustomed to seeing, what it can be like to be self-employed firsthand. And you got to understand, guys, it's all on you. Maybe you're not happy with your current paycheck, but understand there is something to be said for knowing that, regardless of how shitty you may show up and do your job, come Thursday, come Friday, you're going to get a check. Bills are going to be covered. Regardless if you don't think you're being paid enough, you have guaranteed money coming in. Well, when you're a full-time trader or you're self-employed, there's no guarantee. There are days where I may make $2,000 in the course of the day, I may not make a single dollar for the rest of the week or the month. Nothing is guaranteed. So it's all on you, and the bills have to be paid. And I like to be transparent. I'm a young guy, I'm 25. I'm reaching that point where bills are starting to, kind of crawl up my ass. $1,500 rent, $200 cable, car payments, all those kinds of things. And, there's something to be said, guys, when that is truly all on you. Times of underperformance as a trader can be stressful because those bills gotta be paid. I don't want my phone going off every 10 minutes, from the cable company or the car people. You gotta pay your bills. You gotta handle business, and it's a little bit different, guys, when that is truly on you. So, it's all on us. The bills have to be paid. And, with all that being said, it's very normal as a trader to go through, crappy streaks. We all do it. I'm kind of coming out of, a 5-6 day crappy streak right now. And it can be very stressful when, a bill's due tomorrow or you got to pay rent next week. So that's something to be said, guys. Yes, it's great to work for yourself and, you kick up our feet on the desk and our sweatpants and all that cool stuff, all the freedom. That's all good and, fun. But keep in mind, this is your job. This isn't a hobby. It's not a get rich quick. We wake up, we print money. It's your job and it's all on you. And with this being said, it can literally consume you. Me as an individual, guys, when I'm awake, there's probably not a 10-minute window during the time I'm awake where I'm not thinking of trading, where I'm not thinking of the trade I took or the trade I should have taken or how I can be better. So it can truly consume you, but this can also be a good thing as well. So I want to be transparent, guys. It's an amazing life. It's awesome. It's fun, but be aware that, there are some potential downsides, or at least things that you should be mindful and aware of. Now, there are some kind of common misconceptions, that most people have when it comes to trading and trading full time. The first misconception, guys, is that it's easy. And I think part of that is, we're so in tune here with the Instagram world today that, I'm even noticing sometimes maybe some of my posts can be a bit misleading. Because there are mornings where in 10, 15, 20 minutes, I may make a few $1,000. And then I may, let you guys know that, hey, my day's done. The Instagram page here, but there are times, guys, where 15, 20 minutes into the day, I made $1,500, $2,000, whatever it may be, and the day is over. And like most people, I'll come and I'll post something, on Instagram about that. Like my post from today's trade, Easy Money Friday, $360, 40% return. It was an easy trade. It was a nice return. But what you guys really don't see is the fact that I was up at about 2 o'clock in the morning last night preparing for this trade, putting my game plan on paper and truly preparing and treating this like my job. So it's very easy, guys, to have a misconception that your average trader just kind of wakes up, strolls over to the computer, magically prints money, and then goes and hangs with his boys all day. So it's not easy, guys. It's a job. It requires work. And with all due respect, most likely is going to require more work and perseverance than likely anything that you've tried to, get yourself into yet. Another misconception is that you need to be highly intelligent. I don't even need to jump into that, guys. That's complete bullshit. There have been Ivy League individuals who have sucked at trading. There have been high school dropouts who have done incredibly well. You do not need to be highly intelligent. I have highly intelligent friends who have tried to trade, and it just does not work well. I would not consider myself a highly intelligent person. I probably have average intelligence, but I have a much better work ethic than most people and discipline, so the few things I throw my heart into, I succeed there. But you do not need to be highly intelligent. You don't need to be a math whiz. Those aren't things that really play a role here, guys. And you don't need a college education. I get a lot of messages on Instagram, probably 5 to 10 a week, from young individuals asking me, what they should focus on in college to become a good trader. Now, I'm not going to bash on the education system. That's not the point of this webinar. Plain and simple, guys, as far as I know, there isn't a single college course being offered anywhere in the world right now that will prepare you to be a full-time trader. There's no business class, economics class, finance class that will teach you the things that you specifically are going to need to master and know. to succeed in trading. And I don't say that out of disrespect, but if you think that your college degree or your college education is going to make you a good trader, you might as well take that degree and crumble it up, because it's not going to apply here, guys. Again, level playing field, dedication, discipline, mastering the game, developing a process. These are the things that successful traders do. You having some plaque on the wall saying that you went to school does not apply. So good on you if that is your situation, but please be mindful that you're going to need to do a lot of additional work, studying, and homework when it comes to trading. And the last misconception, guys, is that you need massive amounts of money to trade full time. Here's the thing. I focus on trading options. For those of you who don't know what options are, it's just a leveraged way to trade stocks. Instead of buying Apple stock, I buy options on Apple, and because they're leveraged, I get a much bigger return. You can search YouTube, guys, for Focus Trade's Intro to Options webinar, where I jump into options, what they are, and give you guys a nice introduction into how they work. With options, you do not need large amounts of money to begin to really produce enough profit weekly where it can be considered an income. The point of this webinar isn't to discuss how much money you need, because that's different in everybody's situation, but is a source of motivation, guys, when you do what's required, which is learn the game, learn yourself as a trader, develop your process, and then get better every day. Once you have consistency, you reach a point where you got $5,000, $10,000 to truly attack the market with, you can make more than enough to live comfortably. And I truly mean that. It does not take much capital, guys, to start having $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 plus weeks. You don't need home run trades, you don't need massive returns, and you do not need massive amounts of money. If you're a new trader, guys, I suggest starting with nothing. Take a month to learn the game, learn the basics, trade on paper, figure out what style of trading appeals most to you, and then slowly bring money into the equation. Too many people try to jump into it head first with money that is simply too important to them, and things usually do not go well because they're emotionally tied to that money. So you need $0 to start trading, and you do not need massive amounts of money to trade full time. And here's the thing, a lot of people throw the term full-time trader around loosely. I guess the way I would define it, guys, is a full-time trader is someone who supports himself 100% through trading. But there can be two cases of that. A college student who supports himself 100% from trading full-time is much different than a middle-aged mother or father of two with a family, a mortgage, monthly bills. It's a much different situation for them to want to approach the market and have it cover their living expenses. I know a lot of you guys in the chat, a lot of you I'm mentoring right now, you're 18, 19, 20 years old, you guys are still babies. You have much lower living expenses. Most of you likely don't have any at all, which is beautiful. You have much less living expenses than someone who's a bit older, with a family, with a home. So, being a full-time trader at 18 is much different than being a full-time trader at 30, 40. You got different responsibilities, different income needs. So keep that in mind, guys. Where you are, how old you are, all those things kind of play into, what is full-time going to mean to you? And to start your journey, guys, I would say first and foremost, have the realization that this is not going to be easy. If you get really good at trading, the day is going to come where you can consistently make more money than you, your mom, dad, family, friends, and relatives are going to know what to do with. That's the reality. If you succeed in trading, one day you're going to look up and you're going to be so goddamn wealthy and have all the things in life that you aspired to have, that you really need to understand that it's not going to be easy. If this is a world where, guys, if we get it and we master it, we can make hundreds and thousands or millions of dollars from home, from anywhere in the world, under our own guidelines, living our life under, the way that we want, it's not going to be easy to reach that point. And if it was, everyone would be doing it. So let's not fool ourselves. It isn't easy. It's going to be one of the hardest processes that you likely ever go through. To start your journey, I also suggest taking the time to get a true understanding of how the market works. Too many people jump in and their first goal is make money, make money. Well, that's not going to work out, guys. Gotta have patience. You need the discipline. And that is super important to understand that on day one, month one, developing the understanding of how the market works is truly important because everything builds upon that. You need to come into this with a mindset that I need to get better every day. Your focus shouldn't be making money. Your focus should be getting better every single day, improving on a small piece of the process every single day. That's what's going to bring the money. Getting better every day brings the money. The money is just a result of that daily compounded improvement. And when you're getting started in trading, guys, I suggest having a job. It could be a job at a fast food joint. It could be your 9 to 5, whatever it may be. Don't come into trading needing it to work. Do not try to come into trading needing it to pay your bills and needing it to cover this and that, because it's just not going to work. You're going to be way too invested emotionally, and you're not going to have the patience to do what is needed in those initial steps. So it's best to have a job, guys, where you've got some money coming in to cover bills, where you can then dedicate yourself to learning the game in the slow, patient manner that it really takes. It is a process, but your time will come. The more patient you can be in the early stages, learning the game, learning how it works, the sooner you're going to reach success. So again, don't rush the process and respect it. We're all fighting to become the next $1 million trader. There are not many people out there, guys, who, with all due respect and in all honesty, aren't going to be fortunate enough to be in a position to potentially make $1 million one day. As traders, the guys who run the game, the guys who succeed because they simply put in the work and got better every day, they're making millions a month. So don't rush the process and respect it. Another key thing, guys, part of the process is finding yourself as a trader. And what I mean by that is, you need to find what works for you. Some people have personalities that are great for day trading. Some people will hate day trading. Some people will be better off swing trading. There are different approaches to the market, and each is going to work different for someone based upon their personality, their emotions, and their goals. So again, rather than jumping into the market head first in the pursuit of making quick, easy money, don't rush the process. Find yourself as a trader. Take some time early on, guys, after you get that proper understanding of how the market works, to find yourself as a trader. And to do that, you want to experiment with different kinds of trades. Possibly follow a mentor or follow along with individuals in a group like the Focus Trades group to simply observe different styles of trading. There are so many different setups, a lot of different ways to attack it, guys, and you need to kind of find the few ways that work best with you, resonate best with you, and then you throw your heart into mastering that. And you have to develop a process and treat this like a business. This isn't a hobby, guys, and this isn't an easy money thing. It requires you treating it like a business, treating it like an athlete, having a daily process to be prepared, a daily process to execute, and a daily process to consistently improve is incredibly important. So as traders, guys, we are athletes and nothing less. We have to perform, and we have to be in the constant pursuit of improvement. As an athlete, you are screwed if you're not getting a little bit better every single day. So it's a process, guys. Your time will come, but be patient early on, learn how the game works, and don't rush that process. Find yourself as a trader, and when we find the things that work for us, we throw our heart into mastering that and developing a process around that. Treat it like a business and begin to treat yourself like an elite level athlete, because to become a successful trader, that is essentially what you have to become. But it's worth it, guys. All the hard work, the headaches, the patience, the frustrations, the potential holes punched in the wall, all that kind of stuff. It's worth it once you finally find consistency and success. And for me, because I'm in love with the process, guys, the big days such as last winter where I had 17, 20 grand that day, another 12 grand here from energy in one day, those mean as much to me as the quick $300, $400, $500 profits, because it's all about a process. So I'm going to walk you guys through the process and kind of preparation for this trade here on BABA, where I was able to identify a very low risk setup today, put a very modest amount of capital into the trade, and walk away with a really solid return for a quiet Friday, most of which I spent simply sitting back and observing. So again, we're going to jump into the daily process in a bit here, but in a nutshell, what is the daily process of a full-time trader? Well, here's my process, guys. In the evening, I like to sit down with my notebook, a cup of coffee, and review any trades that I took. I take notes of my trades on paper. I will look at the charts of that specific trade. Sometimes I even film my monitor while I'm trading so I can go back and run through the price action. So I like to review the trades I've taken, guys, and I like to give myself a grade on not only how well I executed on that trade, but how well I executed on my game plan, and that allows me to kind of pinpoint where can I improve. You know, did I enter when I should have according to my game plan? Did I exit when I should have? Did I keep, my big picture awareness? Was my size appropriate? These are all things that I want to grade myself on so I can make sure I have some focus on improving those in the coming days. And in the evening, guys, I also like to put together the focus list for the following day. What the focus list is for me personally, guys, is basically my watch list, my game plan on paper. I know the sectors, the stocks that I want to monitor. I know when I want to enter each, how much money I want to invest in each, and where I would exit. A big part of trading is preparation and being prepared and having structure for your trades. A lot of traders fail because the market opens, they sit down, and they begin the epic hunt for today's hot stock. That's not how professionals approach it, and if that's how you approach it, you're really not going to go too far. So having a game plan on paper allows me to go to sleep, visualize my game plan, visualize myself taking my trades, buying, exiting when I should, and then it's really a matter of waking up the next day, guys, showing up and executing on my game plan. For me, I wake up relatively early and I like to review my game plan. Kind of look at the notes, look at everything I put down the previous night, and then take a look at the pre-market. How is the overall market looking here this morning before the open? Are any individual sectors sticking out? Are any individual stocks sticking out? Is there any news, any earnings, any kind of catalyst that I need to be aware of that will help me further put together my game plan and maybe bring up some new potential trades? I take my notes, guys. If there's something I want to improve on specifically that day, I make sure to take that in my note. I do some positive affirmations. I visualize myself executing as I should. I get in the zone. And for me, that simply means, making a warm coffee, putting on some of my favorite music, and just chilling out. And then I prepare to execute, guys. So that's my daily process in a nutshell. Obviously the individual components of this are a little bit deeper, but that's it in a quick snapshot. So now we're going to jump into, guys, an example of a recent game plan that I had for a trade in Alibaba stock today, BABA. I'll walk you through the notes that I had right here in my notebook, my thought process, and how I put together a game plan for this trade, showed up, executed, and profited. So I had a plan and executed, and that's the focus. Today was a victory, not of 300 or 400 bucks. That's irrelevant. The victory today, guys, the win, was that I had a process, I had a game plan, and I executed on it. If I continue to do that for years to come, then my little small, quick, easy days, instead of being $400 or 500 bucks, my little tiny days are going to be $4,000, $5,000 days. Focus on the process, not the profits. So now we're going to jump into the chart, guys, break down the trade here for BABA, and it'll give you guys kind of a sense of the preparation that we do in the evening and how we simply show up with a prepared game plan on paper and how we then execute on that. So let's jump into the Alibaba support and resistance trade real quick here. Alright, so here are my personal notes on this Alibaba move today, guys. So I named this trade the China move, and here was my notes last night. With Chinese stocks taking an absolute beating as of late, shorts have some massive profits that they are likely to cover before the weekend. And what I mean by that, guys, and we'll jump into a few charts here, is that Chinese stocks such as Alibaba, VIPs, YY, and Bzoon have all taken a beating lately. They've been very, sold off. And here's the thing, guys. While some people are taking pain when a stock is falling, a lot of people are making a big amount of money by going short. And for any of you new traders out there, we're not going to really jump into it too much, but what going short basically means is that you're making a bet that the stock is going to fall lower. You borrow shares up here with the goal of selling them at a much lower price. So with that being said, there's a massive amount of people out there this week that have some crazy profits built up going short these Chinese names. With that being said, guys, typically when most traders have large profits, they like to take those profits off the table before the week ends. That way they don't have to hold it over the weekend and put their profits at risk. So this whole trade came, guys, from having the big picture awareness. Just staying alert and aware every day of what's going around, what's going on around the board is part of our job as a trader. Taking a big picture view, and one of the biggest stories of the past few weeks has been the meltdown in Chinese stocks. So here's how I broke this down, guys. I had the awareness of what was going on in the market, and that, these Chinese stocks taking a hit to the downside was one of the biggest kind of, playing fields we had this week. Had the awareness that a lot of traders who are short have some pretty big profits, and that likely are going to take those profits off before the weekend happens, just so they don't have that risk of holding their profits over the weekend. With that being said today, what I was looking here for today, guys, was one more final push to the downside and then a rally to the upside as those shorts begin to exit their positions, pushing the stock back higher. So what we call this trade, like to name all my trades, this is the support play. And basically what I'm doing, guys, is I'm identifying a level of support and I'm initiating my position as close to that level of support as I can. What is support? Support is simply a level where buyers come in and they stop the stock from going any lower. So we'll jump back to my game plan here. Again, Chinese stocks taking a beating as of late, but these shorts are likely to take some profits off the table this weekend, causing a temporary rally. Look for a support play once the lows of the day are established and initiate that beautiful low risk entry at that level, and then wait for the shorts to cover and that rally to begin. My exit strategy on this trade, guys, is to get out if the stock should break and dip lower than that level of support. So there we go. I've removed most of the emotion from this trade because I know what I'm trading, I know exactly where I want to get in, and I know exactly where I would get out if I was wrong. And one little note I had is that it's a summer Friday. Things have kind of been crappy on Fridays, low action, so tread lightly. And I was not looking for a home run today, guys. All I was looking for was put a modest amount of money to work in this trade, get a decent return to pay some bills, and that was about it. So, market opened up here today, guys, and as expected, most Chinese stocks initially started the day falling to the downside. And we can take a look here at BABA from today. And let me just clear that up. And as we can see today, guys, here is today's session. We did open up a little bit higher here in BABA, but immediately we had a pretty big push right back to the downside. So the selling pressure came back into BABA. And if we take a look at the other Chinese stocks, such as VIPs, VIPs got another push down this morning, as well as, Bzoon and a lot of the other Chinese names. So for me, that's key, guys, is to make sure that I'm participating in a group move and not just, a kind of a lone wolf situation where one stock is moving independently of everything else. So we opened a little bit higher, but we got that final push to the downside that I was expecting. Again, my game plan was to then identify a point where buyers rushed in to stop the stock from going any lower. And if we notice right here, guys, as soon as the stock came down this morning to 168.40, buyers rushed in immediately and they popped the stock back up to the upside. So buyers came in, they said, hold on, nope, we're not going to let BABA go any lower than this. That level right there, guys, now becomes my line in the sand. That's my magic level. And what I'm looking for patiently is for the stock to make a move and then to come back down to that same level and confirm to me that it truly is support. And that is exactly what happened here today. We dropped lower as expected, but relatively quickly, that became support. It made a little weak move and then right back again. So as it made its move to the downside, guys, what am I looking for? I'm looking for a confirmation that buyers are going to come in and they're not going to let BABA go any lower. As you can see, we bounced off that level and moved right there, right back to the upside, came down again, and we did not move any lower. That was the third time that BABA reached this level, and to me, guys, that was a confirmation that, at least intraday, for the time being, that was a level of support. So going back to my game plan, the game plan was to identify a level of support, and then once I got that confirmation, take my position. So right here, guys, as we just hovered nice and solid above that level of support, that is where I went long and I bought my options calls. That's when I took my position. And here's the beauty of this setup. If we refer back to my game plan, my exit strategy is if it dips below that support. So I am buying right here, and I would have exited if the stock were to fall below that level. So there's the risk reward, guys. I'm buying right there, and if I'm wrong, I'm getting out right here. That's a very small move against me. It's going to be a very small loss and allow me to recoup and move on to the next trade without taking any damage. So the elements of this trade were that I was looking for a clear level of support on Alibaba, and once I got my confirmation, I was looking to take a very low risk entry. And then the last piece of that puzzle, guys, go back to that game plan. Again, either take the exit as I should on the break below the established lows, or be patient and wait for that short covering rally to begin. Well, fortunately for me today, guys, after I took my position, the short covering rally began, made a few moves here, kind of went sideways for a bit, but as you can see, right around lunchtime today, BABA just spiked to the upside, consolidated, and then made another huge push to the upside. And a half hour or so before the market closed, on that last dip, I took my trade off, and there was my profit, guys. So I did exactly what my game plan was. I waited for BABA to make a level of support. I waited for it to come back and retest that level and confirm it. I took my incredibly low risk entry. I was ready to exit if the trade didn't work, but I had the patience and the discipline to hold on because it was. And that was a beautiful move there, guys. Beautiful support play. If I was wrong, it would have been a small loss, but instead, it was a winning trade, and it was good for just over 40% and just over $360. So there's a good example, guys, of making a pretty good return without needing huge amounts of money. I only had a little bit over $800 invested in this trade, regardless of what you may have in your account right now. An $800 position is not something that's unattainable. It won't take you that long to work up to. And, $400 in a day, guys, if you can get to the point you're doing that every day, you're having $2,000 weeks. That's a six-figure income. So that should just kind of illustrate to you guys the potential and the process that's needed day after day to make this all work. I had a game plan for BABA. I showed up. I executed on it. And though it wasn't a huge trade or a massive return, that just goes to show you guys what it takes and how easily you can string together some pretty meaningful profits. And just to give you guys, point of reference, though this may be a pretty irrelevant and small trade for me now, $360 is more than I was making in a month 3 years ago working at the gym, just to put that in its proper perspective. So I know this webinar and this video was brief, but if anything guys, hopefully it opened your eyes to the upsides, some of the challenges to being a full-time trader, and that the reality is that there's no magic required. You don't need a crazy background, you don't need to be highly educated. It's a process guys. You learn the game, develop your daily routine, and then just like I showed you there on that BABA trade, you just simply show up, execute, and then improve on your process day after day. So to recap guys, trading full-time can provide an incredible lifestyle, a huge income, freedom, and you get that never-ending pursuit of mastery. But please keep in mind, it's hard work like anything great out there. And those who are great, they simply work harder than you probably are ever going to attempt to. And the same thing applies in trading. You got to master the game, guys. Find yourself as a trader. Have the patience to go through that process and slowly begin to develop your toolbox of trades and then master your daily process. And the last thing I can really just preach to you guys, if you do aspire to trade full-time in the future, do not rush the process. It takes time, it takes lots of wins, lots of losses, and most importantly, a lot of patience and a lot of self-learning. But as you guys can see, I can tell you firsthand that the journey is worth it, and the rewards, once they begin to come, are unlike anything else I've personally experienced. So if you enjoyed this video guys and want to learn a little bit more about trading and doing these steps that we talked about, here's how Focus Trades can help. We offer a video library, a daily focus list, nightly review, daily videos, private chat room alerts, and access to me as well as all the members of our group. So definitely suggest checking us out at focustrades.com. And compared to most trading groups and training groups, I'm willing to bet that we're the most affordable available, guys. A good education should not cost a fortune. You shouldn't be able to learn about trading just because you can't afford it, and that's where I come into play. So you can join the Focus Trades team, guys, for $10 a month or one payment of $99.99 for a whole year. And that's going to give you access to all the videos I've put together. You're going to begin to receive my nightly review videos where I walk through the preparation that I did for that BABA trade, as well as my morning focus list videos where I walk through the steps of keeping you guys prepared and how to execute. And if you don't already, guys, you're watching the webinar, so you probably do. Check us out on IG, Focus Trades on Facebook, and follow me at Focus Trades on Twitter as well. So hopefully this video was helpful for you guys. Hopefully it inspires you to look further into trading. Hopefully it inspires you to begin to take your trading a little bit more seriously, and kind of just opens your eyes to the potential and the simple steps that it takes to become a consistent and full-time trader. So feel free to message me, tweet at me, DM me, email me anytime, guys. I'm an open book and I'm here to help. And I hope you enjoyed this short webinar.